Looking back at the Upfront Turner, you guys made a lot of noise, a lot of impressions, made a lot of news around sort of data-driven TV buying. What does data-driven TV buying mean, or programmatic audience buying? What does that big change mean, and what are the implications, and what does that mean to advertisers?
Well, first of all, it's for us, it's all about the audiences. So whether you call it programmatic or data-driven marketing, it's really about moving away from Nielsen age gender guarantees and really focusing on a client's target audience. And we've been at this now for several years. So we're incredibly excited. We've had great support from the ad community, both at agencies and with clients. And you know, this Upfront, which is still, the dust is settling, but the fact is we've seen an enormous amount of demand and interest in our audience solutions, audience targeting solutions, which we have in the market right now. One's called Targeting Now, the second is called Audience Now. What surprised us in this Upfront, though, was how receptive the market was to moving away from the Nielsen guarantees and really starting to move beyond the age, gender, and focus in on audiences. And we're one of the first, I think, media companies that's actually making those guarantees against those audience segments, regardless of what the client, their interest in the audience segment. We will guarantee that, and we will also use whichever data sets that they want us to use.
So what are the advertisers and the marketers that are, you know, buying into this, and what sectors, if there are?
You know, I think it's interesting. We are seeing interest from a variety of sectors. Automotive is very important, CPG, insurance. So we've been getting interest from a lot of the marketers, and we're also seeing a lot of the same marketers come back year after year, which means that they're seeing success, because at the end of the day, this is all about helping eliminate the audiences that they aren't, you know, necessarily targeting, and getting more precise to the ones that really matter to them. And by doing that, we could actually eliminate some of the you know, non-targeted audiences and get them more precise measurement and guarantee that, and that's important to them.
Michael, not to get too deep in the weeds, but in terms of the infrastructure, how this engine runs, and working with the various companies and entities, and you know, explain a little bit about the ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's still very early days. A lot of what we do now is all manual. So while the hope is that one day this will be automated, I've heard the expression program manual. I don't even think we're there yet. I think it's still very much a manual process. There are other companies in the ecosystem. There's a lot of DSPs that are now coming onto the scene that may have started in digital, that are trying to move into national linear TV, and we're having conversations with them. So I think that will, over time, work its way out. But for us right now, we're in our second year where we're doing the audience guarantees. We were very intentional in keeping the number of clients in the first year, when we were really in a beta test, to a small number. This year, we've actually had the confidence and the ability to scale that. It's going to put a lot more, you know, pressure on our own internal resources, but we're ready for that, and we are making provisions to provide whatever's necessary to scale. But I think over time, as more and more interest comes, there's going to be the need for more automation and better machine-to-machine capabilities.
And Michael, when you talk about audience buying, on what medium is that? In other words, is it linear? Is it video on demand? Is it full episode players or digital? What is it?
I mean, right now, what I'm talking specifically about is national linear inventory. We are already in the market. Turner already does transact with programmatic on our full episode players, both long form and short form content. We're not currently using the VOD and OTT inventory right now, but I imagine that will be coming online, and that's with programmatic. The audience-based targeting that we're offering in the market, though, with our Audience Now and Targeting Now, is just purely confined to our linear inventory.
We're getting ready to go to Mexico. A lot of advertisers there, a lot of marketers, brands. What is their concern, interest in terms of the future of TV, and what this sort of audience buying thing means, and what's the conversation going to be like?
I think there's a resurgence in the interest and excitement for television. I think the fact that we are now afforded the opportunity to use data in ways that never really made possible are opening up enormous opportunities for marketers to be more more efficient and precise with their marketing dollars in a medium that has always been able to prove and deliver results. So I think it's really exciting, and we're gaining a lot of traction. What I'm curious to see when we head to Mexico is the interest in programmatic and audience-based targeting around the globe. We're starting to see it ramp up here in the United States, but I'm curious to see how it's being received in other markets as well.
And finally, looking 1 year out, where do you think our conversation will be about TV buying or next year's Upfront?
Well, listen, I think we had a great Upfront this year. I'm hopeful that it'll continue, that same momentum will continue next year. But for us, it's not just about television. It's really about the entire video ecosystem, whether it be our digital properties, the offerings that we're making available, both in social and in our full episode players, OTT. I think those are things we want to continue. I also think hopefully next year we're talking about even newer opportunities around addressable, national linear addressable inventory. Interactive, who knows, maybe we're talking about Internet of Things as well. But there's definitely, I think what's exciting is the amount of interest in creating these new innovations for the marketers when it comes to using video and particularly television.